Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our scenario is Cold Warning. It was written by Scott D. Anielowski, and it was updated to the 7th edition by Oscar Rios and Tim McGonigal, and it's available from Golden Goblin Press. Zane Fleming is the game master, and this is episode 3. Tonight I will be giving the recap as Neville Cray. So, without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. Winter can be cold in the Commonwealth, and by far, this is the coldest that I've ever experienced. I'm sure that many of you have seen, or at least heard of, a man getting caught in the cold and ultimately freezing to death. These sort of things happen each year. Nature does not allow mistakes of judgment. But it's unheard of, as far as I know, that a man should freeze to death and freeze solid in a matter of 20 minutes by any act of nature. So solid that a tap on the forehead should shatter his entire physical form. But that is precisely what has happened. So how can this be? I suspect that some sort of apparatus must have been used, some sort of powerful refrigeration device, the details of which we can only speculate upon. But setting that aside, what we have come to believe is that Joseph Sutton's death was not a suicide. The handwriting samples indicate that most likely culprit was Joseph Sutton's brother, Stuart Sutton. What motivation, you might ask? Well, plain and simple, he was probably stooping Joseph's wife, Marilyn. Oh, and Marilyn had a bun in the oven. We wonder where that came from. Who can say? But after the funeral, they wasted no time in traveling to someplace secluded. Stuart Sutton owns a hunting lodge up in rural Maine, and that is where we are headed now. A long trip through the less dense areas of Maine up the coast of Bangor, and from there north about 30 miles. That was the plan. I don't know how to describe the insanity of what happened just a few minutes ago. Our train had lurched to a halt, and there was chaos. I suspect that she hit a snowbank and perhaps derailed. In any case, the crash must have attracted the attention of the local wildlife. Something came out of the night and attacked us. If they were animals, they were no doubt starving to death in the winter freeze. At one point, I sort of recall falling and hitting my head. I must have started hallucinating because what I think I saw doesn't make any sense. The others were panicked, though, because of the crash, I assume, so we appropriated some motorcycles with sidecars to make our escape from danger. The whole thing is really hard to remember, but it's all a blur. But now we are resting at the entrance to a tunnel. What happens next? I cannot even begin to guess.
Zane? Thank you very much, Tom. Okay, so as he said, we left the adventures as you guys had entered the tunnel, driving along. I believe Dr. Richard had convinced Jasmine to switch off the driver's seat into the side carriage. So that was the biggest significant change there. So the weather was really bad when you guys went into the tunnel. So you've kind of escaped some of the elements when you've come into the tunnel and things like that. And you've now been driving along for, I'd say, around about half an hour in the tunnel. Who was in the front? I believe it's now Dr. Richard and Jasmine. You guys are in the front. Just ahead of you guys, you can now see the opening of the tunnel.
Well, I wonder what we're going to do. I wonder if we're going to find... I was thinking, if you look at a map, if we are in fact heading towards Bangor, and we didn't get switched around and we're heading towards Massachusetts, then the sea coast should be on our right and the wilderness should be on our left. I think, though, that if we keep following this train, surely they'll send someone. I mean, if the train doesn't get to the next station in time, they'll know something's wrong, right?
Well, I mean, it's the weather's pretty bad up here, anyways. They're probably expecting delays, so they're not going to send anybody out right away.
But couldn't
Also,
wouldn't
you don't
try to communicate with the train?
who knows if they sent out a communicate. I don't even know how that works.
I think they do it to telegraph through the
Right.
Yeah, there's usually lines along the train lines, telegraph lines. That's pretty common.
I think they can also do it through the tracks themselves, but I'm not sure.
They'd probably have a time schedule as well, just in case if the train don't make it, they'll usually have a couple seconds to know, not seconds, but a couple minutes to know when they have to act and ask and see if it even left.
And surely there's trains coming in the other direction now too.
Hopefully not using the same tracks that we're following.
Well, if there's if this train doesn't turn up, there'll be trains behind us.
Yeah.
If they don't know where we are, one of those would crash into us, so they have to sort that out.
Surely this will become public very quickly.
Well, one thing's for sure, we need to keep going in the direction we were going because behind us is not safe. I don't know what those things were, but we need to go away from that.
And pretty much almost as soon as you say that, Dr. Richard and Jasmine, you guys now have escaped through back into the open, and the wind is biting, the snow is everywhere. You can see a little bit of the sun, so it's now day, but everything is just white. You've basically driven into a blizzard.
Oh, good
Grandfather, I think there's a blizzard.
Well, that's not something I wanted to hear. We must press
you,
on.
Obviously following in behind, so you guys are going to be hitting that as well.
Is there any place that we can see anything? Buildings through the trees or...
So right now, you can see the track that you're following because they're just in front of you, and you can still make out the bikes that if you're behind another rider, then you can see them. You can see kind of in the distance some forest, but then on the other side it's a lot of white.
It's not going to take long before these tracks are going to become buried, and then we're going to be up a creek.
Well, we've still got the tunnel of trees, so to speak, that we can follow along.
Good point.
How long does this tunnel go? I mean, where we're standing, or can we see the light at the end of the tunnel, or is it
You're out of the tunnel. You guys are
okay.
well out of the tunnel now.
Okay.
You guys are on bikes, so you've driven.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this: how bad is the snow on the tracks?
It's not ideal, but it's drivable. Like I said, you can still make out the tracks underneath you out and follow along. Yeah.
Well, I mean, let me ask you this: when we were on a train, how long was it before the train was derailed? Or the train wasn't really derailed, was it? It just stopped.
Yeah.
We didn't really ever see the front of the train.
No.
And it stopped abruptly, didn't it?
Yeah, it stopped pretty.
We actually. I know we left. I'm trying to remember how we exited from the back of the train, right?
Yeah.
We were going that direction, or did we swing around front?
Get around to
Okay.
drive. Yeah.
So the question is, how long was it? How long were we on the train? Because I believe we got some sleep, right?
Yeah, correct.
And we were. So I would say a few hours had passed. How long was it going to take for us to get to Maine?
To get to Bangor, it's about about a 7-hour train ride. So you were probably on the train for, let's say, 5 hours.
So we're nearly there. How fast do these bikes go?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's on a train. You've now gotten
Right.
off a train, you're on a motorcycle. So yes, it would have been another 2 hours on the train, but you're now heading along on a motorcycle.
On a motorbike. Okay. How? That's the other question. How? I mean, in the 20s, how fast would these bikes go?
Not as fast as a train.
Well,
On a road, they'd go pretty fast, but we're almost cross country, plowing through snow and the rail spines of the train tracks.
Right.
And they've got sidecars. Most of them have got sidecars on them, and things, so they're not terribly aerodynamic.
Okay.
We might be going along at best 30
do you
miles
think-
an hour.
Let me ask you this: if we were to go at top speed, safely at top speed, would it add like an additional hour to our trip, or like an additional 2 hours? What are we looking at as time if we were just to go nonstop?
Well, you guys could be almost there.
Yeah, we don't know how long it's.
So you don't know how long, especially because you like I said, you felt like you're in the tunnel for about half an hour, but you guys were so kind of out of it when you entered because of what you encountered. You don't actually know how long you've been in the tunnel for, and you could have been driving for an hour or whatever the case may be. So right now, time is sort of
Right.
it's, you just know pretty much the kind of the main thought in your head is we need to find a building, we need to find other people, we need to find the station that you need to get to, which is why you're following the tracks.
Let's put it this way then. We're going to keep on going forward mindlessly until we reach civilization.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep an eye out for maybe another station up ahead, or now where we're driving or where we're riding, it's just woods on both sides, right?
Wood, you can see woods on one side, but the other side is just white.
Okay.
We also have no idea how close these things are. I mean, if they're pursuing us or have they just kind of faded away, we really need to press on fast.
I assume that motorcycles don't get tired. Animals do. They must have given up.
No, these guys were coming. Yeah, these guys were moving as fast, if not faster, than our bikes. They caught up to us.
Yeah, but then they still have to get tired. You know, animals can't run forever. I mean, they were what? They were wolves or something like that.
They were something, but they were something.
So I need, because just so you guys are aware, you guys are yelling this over the snow, obviously, because you're in the middle of a blizzard. I need survival checks from all of you.
Oh boy.
Because none of you were like you've got blankets on, but none of you are super big.
That's
I
just
got 11 out of 10.
I remember that there were
3 out of 10.
Can I do? Can I use one luck?
Yeah, sure, you can choose one luck. Yeah. What did you get, Jasmine?
I got 3 out of 10.
Okay.
So I didn't get it.
Ha.
24 out of
Miles,
I
what'd
got
you get?
not looking good.
Okay.
56.
What'd you get, Aaron?
I got a 98.
Ooh, okay.
Hooray, we can eat you.
Oh,
Dr.
come on.
Richards?
We're not going to get starving to death in one day. It takes a month.
He's talking about the weather though. And I know that we did have blankets and I know we wrapped ourselves up. when we left.
Yeah. But still, like, in a blizzard, is a blanket going to be, like, perfect? No. That's why.
Are you suggesting that we're all going to have to get naked to conserve body heat? You know,
Yes, no.
Oh no, it sounds to me like you've got hypothermia. You're already paradoxically undressing.
Here we go.
Okay.
It's Saskatchewan all over again.
Okay, so Jasmine, you failed. Miles, did you fail?
Yeah, 56 out of 10.
Okay, and Dr. Richard, how'd you do?
I also failed with 44 out of 10.
Okay, so Doc, it's something you're looking out for because of the conditions and everything, and then because you're you're a doctor, you look down at your hands and stuff, and they're definitely starting to go blue. And you look across at Jasmine, and you can see the start of frostbite on Jasmine. Like, it's quite bad on Jasmine because she's sitting in the car. The end of her nose, like the nose is starting to, you're seeing the starts of that. Tom, sorry, can you change your name, by the way? Neville, you see Miles' hands. He keeps sort of like lifting his hand off the thing and sort of shaking it and stuff to kind of warm himself up. But the tips of Miles' fingers as well are starting to blacken just ever so slightly.
We need to stop and get a fire started.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. The reason why I was asking what's around us, I was going to see if there's like if we could spot maybe a house or a little cabin or something like that along the way.
Give me spot hiddens.
I'm not good at that either.
95. I'm looking at Craig's. I'm looking at Archer's.
Oh,
I got 25 out of 30.
I got a 17 out of 30.
Oh,
So not quite a hard.
40 out of 30. That's very good.
So, Jasmine, did you pass?
Yeah, 25 out of 30.
Okay. Miles, how'd you do?
30 out of 50.
Okay. So here's what happens. So, Aaron, you see up ahead, you've got pretty good eyes. So you see up ahead what looks like a train station. You see a sort of a kind of brick building and things. And as you kind of get a bit closer, you're starting to see other buildings kind of surrounding and things like that. You think you even might see some people. Jasmine, you also see, because you're a little bit closer. You kind of are the one that you see it first, and you kind of nudge over to Richard, saying you kind of point out that the building's up ahead. Miles, you're from memory, you and Neville are in the back, right? You're in the
Yes.
You're in the rear.
Yeah.
You see a flash of red again near Aaron.
Oh no, near Aaron?
Yeah, so Aaron's just in front of you. He's riding in front of you, and you see that flash of red again.
Okay, like to his 3 o'clock or?
No, it's like
Well-
like near him. Like you're seeing the back of him, and you see a flash of red in the white. Like of the white of the snow, you see a flash of red.
Okay, I yell out as loud as I can. Aaron, look out! There's that flashing again right near you.
Okay. I forgot what the flash of red was. I think it was...
So Aaron kind of puts his head back and puts his hand back and pulls the blanket up a little bit further around him, and it seems to the red goes away.
Huh.
I say we got to stop somewhere and get some fire going. Are you all going to freeze to death?
Well, there's a place that I see buildings up ahead, so let's...
Oh, let's get there quickly. Hopefully there's people. We have to tell them about the accident.
So, yeah, you guys pull up, and it is in fact the train station, and you can see Bangor written on the thing, and you pull the bikes off the track, so they're like securely off, and you kind of all scamper your way up to.
Do people notice us coming up the tracks on our bikes?
Yeah, some people have come out to kind of but they're trying to yell over the storm like, are you okay and stuff as you're kind of coming in.
There's been a train accident.
I'll radio forward, and then someone runs off, and they go to obviously inform the people up ahead and the people that need to know, and some people come down and are helping you all off the bikes and into the building, and
We're freezing to death. We need to get inside, please. the heat.
And they take you into the station, and they all put you down, and someone goes and makes a cup of tea and pot of tea and stuff like that to help you all and things like that. You know?
I'm going to take a quick trip to the restroom.
Yeah.
Look, we don't know exactly what happened, but in the middle of the night, the train seemed to crash, and a lot of people were killed. And then the animals started coming to eat the carcasses, and we had to get the hell out of there. So we're the only survivors, as far as I know.
And one of them kind of animals. Animals, you say?
I don't know, wolves and bear and all sorts of crazy shit.
One of them looks across at one of the other guys that's there, and sort of gives him a look, and he looks back at you, Neville, and he says, "Well, what did these animals look like?"
They had antlers. They weren't like exactly animals. They looked almost human-like.
They look not like
Wendigos. They look like Wendigos.
As soon as you say that, you definitely get a reaction out of them. They sort of look at each other and they kind of back away from you, and they go, "You need to leave."
What are you talking about?
You need to leave. If you've got the curse on you, you need to leave.
What curse?
We don't want any trouble with their Wendigos. If you have brought them on here, you need to leave. We'll give you enough supplies. Wherever you were headed, wherever you were going, you need to go. We can give you enough supplies and things, but you've got to go.
Look, we're telling you that the entire train has been
derailed.
We've sent word back to Arkham. They will send. We'll send people after the thing, but we are not messing with that stuff.
You can't just send us back out there.
What are you?
You know how we look.
Don't be superstitious. They were just animals.
I don't know about that, Nev. I've seen animals before. These.
Hey, I'll be coming out of the bathroom listening.
Look, we were all panicked. We were all panicked because we were really afraid. I didn't see no antlers.
Yeah. Do you remember what happened to the crew of the train, Nev?
Well, we were in a crash.
No, but their bodies were all piled in one area. They were torn to pieces.
I don't remember that.
I know you took a pretty heavy shot, Neb. This is not
here. I mean, this is prohibition. I was about to say, do we have any medicinal?
The doctor's got his doctor's bag. He's got,
Look, we need to see the doctor. Look, we're all
we need a medicinal cure if you have any around here.
We're not particularly.
Well, I've got a wee bottle of this nerve tonic here.
Yeah, exactly, nerve tonic.
Oh yeah, it's Bell's nerve.
And then I'll turn to the and let me see if I can actually try to calm these guys down. I'm going to try to convince these guys that that the young lady Jasmine and this other guy, this tall guy that's with us, that they're just a little spooked. They hit their head or whatever, and they're a little spooked. They didn't see any weird creatures or anything like that. It was wolves basically that came out of the out of the woods.
You'll need to give me a persuade roll. That sounds like a persuade.
Okay. Persuade or fast talk?
It's probably going to be a persuade from what you described.
Okay.
Because these guys, it's going to have to be quite a good one because Miles has just basically said that the bodies were put in piles and torn to shreds, and Jasmine's going on about Wendigos, so it's going to have to be a pretty good persuade.
Bunch of superstitious bums.
Nope, that's not going to work. So
it's pretty much what you've done now is that they're starting to get a bit more kind of frustrated, and they're going like,
I'll give Miles and Jasmine a look like, what the hell are you guys?
We're sorry what's happened to you, and when we understand, but we have families living in this in Bangor. We have people in the area. We can't the risk of if someone has put the Wendigo on you, if you have the curse on you, we can't have you near us. Yes,
So
you can.
what do you mean when you say put it on us?
Well, the Wendigo, they follow people. They follow like someone.
Well,
Well, they followed all the people on the train coming here. How many trains you come in a day?
You must have angered someone. You must have angered the gods.
What does
Oh
the
my
curse
God.
entail?
The Wendigo, it's in our culture, and you now realize that both the men that are there are probably from Native American kind of.
oh, okay.
And they say,
Well,
if someone got lost out in the snow, and they're stuck, and they were driven mad, and they consumed human meat. They consumed the meat of their own kind. They become the Wendigo, and they change. Their body changes, and they're driven to madness, and they become the Wendigo, and they are a minion, a child of the gods. And the gods send them.
What a load of horse shit.
well, no.
He hears Neville say that, and he says, "This is a very strong belief of my people."
Yeah,
Is there a way to fight these things? Because
We killed 3.
No, yeah. I mean, here's the thing, right? We just came out of the snow and the cold. My friend over there starting to get a little frostbitten. We need to warm up a bit. This, like whatever attacked us, on whether it's a Wendigo, whether it's people wearing antlers, whether it's some wildlife or whatever, it caught us by surprise on the train. We were able to kill a few of them on our way here. This seems more of a defensible position. I mean, why don't we warm up and I'm sure
when you said you killed some, they kind of backed away from you even more. And he said, "You killed some.
Well, they were attacking
That
us.
means they'll be hunting you."
Look, where the hell is Hudson? We need to get to Hudson.
And he runs over to like a desk over to the side, brings over a map, and to you, Neville, and he kind of draws. He's like, "You're here. Hudson's here. Where are you going in Hudson?"
We need to go. We need to go to the what the hell was it called? The Winter Haven Lodge.
Winter Haven Hunting Lodge, and he kind of the Sutton place.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. And he draws a circle, and he goes, "Here." And then he yells to his men. He goes, "Put some supplies in their bikes." And two men run out and to go to put stuff.
How about
in the
this?
bikes.
How about this? You're rushing us out, right?
So
Yeah.
we ain't gonna do this on bikes. We're gonna rent cars. We're gonna get.
No, yeah, that's what I was about to ask. I mean, is there a car that we can borrow?
Do you have a fucking taxi?
Not in
Yeah,
this
I
weather. The weather, your best bet is the bikes. The weather, it's unless you can't stay here, and the roads are
Okay,
blocked
how about
up
this?
that-
How about this? How about this? Then? I mean, you're kicking us out. Wow, that's fine. How about? I mean, with those supplies, can we get heavy coats and gloves and things that will protect us against the cold weather? Because apparently we're about to just die. If we're not gonna, we're not gonna try to go out there and freeze to death.
And he
Yeah,
yells
I'm
back-
I'm
he
18
yells back to one of his men.
I feel the cold,
He yells back to one of his men and to get some jackets and stuff for you guys, and he kind of scampers off and things. And any more requests?
Do you have any
Yeah.
firearms or anything that we can obtain for ourselves or obtain?
If you've brought these things on the village, we're not giving you any of our weapons. We need them for ourselves.
All right. Well, what is your name
Carl.
Look, let's.
and yours? And I'll look to the other guy. And your name?
The other guys have gone because he sent them. He sent all the others
Okay.
off to
Let's
do.
go.
I'll give him a look, and I'll say, I'll remember you.
Look, guys, we're in the fucking train station. Vanguard's a big town, big city. There's got to be somebody here who'll drive us.
Yeah, well...
Besides these superstitious freaking...
Well, I mean, if you want to go out and see if there's a car that we can come
I will.
Get. All right.
Archer, you come with me.
All right. You got it, Ned.
She's
So as you guys kind of get
by
up,
this fire.
the guy comes back with like some big kind of woolen jackets with the big fur kind of lining and everything, and puts them down, and just no one has. Who did I say was getting the start of frostbite? Who was? So it was Miles, Jasmine.
Jasmine was getting the start of frostbite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys, unfortunately, no one has seen to you. So
Well, I
take
can,
one.
Surely I can do that now that we're in front of the fireplace.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
good
if you
idea.
guys were having it's conversation, you didn't say I'm going to instantly do this.
Okay.
So
All right.
just take 1 hit point for both of you guys. If you would, you can do something now, Doc. If you like, because you said you did say you are waiting, but Miles.
Yes, I'll just
Going
attempt
back
to
in.
do some first aid on the two of them
On
because
Jasmine?
there
Okay.
isn't the time or the means to do anything more advanced than that.
Doctor, Miles in a low voice when the doctor is tending to me. Doctor, do you recall back there when those beasts were attacking, seeing the red flashes from where they were? Do you remember that at all?
I do recall something. Aye.
There were
And when I was on the motorcycle, I think I saw a wee flash of something.
Yeah, I saw it a handful of times from the direction of them before they attacked. Just want to make sure I'm not going crazy.
What do you think it might have been?
I have no idea. These creatures were certainly not just human. They got close. Nev and I were fighting them hand to hand, and we could see them right in their eyes. They were not some human dressed up.
No, I didn't see them too clearly, but they didn't look very slow. They were certainly a bit nippy.
I'm concerned that Aaron over there is trying to convince us otherwise. I could have sworn I seen a red flash about him, very similar to around the Wendigos that came at us. Again, I don't know what these things are, but
Just one. So while you're doing that, so Doc, how did your medicine? So your first aid roll go on Jasmine?
On Jasmine, it was a pass,
Awesome.
and on Miles, it was a slightly better pass.
And there we go. So you both guys get one hit point back. So Neville and Miles, you guys were going to head out, correct?
Yeah.
yes.
First thing I'm
and-
looking for is like a diner.
Jasmine and Richard, you guys were staying there.
I'll stay here.
Aaron, what were you going to do?
I'm just going to try to keep it, warm up, get all the supplies, have an inventory of all the supplies that we're going to be using, and seeing if there's anything else that I could use that might be useful.
Cool. So you're just going to stay in there, right? So Neville and Miles, you guys head back out into the snow and kind of start heading towards the little town that's kind of just a little bit further off from the train station. So I'll start with you guys. So you guys, you're making your way through the snow and things, and you get to the first building, and you kind of are walking up, and it's like a barber shop. And as you guys get to the door, you see a man come to the kind of, because it's like there's glass in the door, and he gets to it and he sees you coming, and you see him lock it and close the I'm open to the I'm closed sign.
Well, is there like a restaurant or a diner somewhere nearby?
Yep. So you move a little bit further up, and you can see like a diner. and you see a woman kind of watching you through the window as you walk up, and she scampers over to the door, locks it, and flips the sign down and pulls the shade down.
What the hell kind of town is this?
This is not good, Nev.
And you hear a voice behind you, and you turn around, and it's one of the men from the station. You go, "The town have been warned. You have the Wendigo after you. They will not help you." They're concerned for their safety and for the safety of their families.
Look, we're going to freeze to death. Can you at least lend us a car? We'll bring it back to you.
The roads are blocked. You won't go. You'll get further on the bikes.
You seem to think that bikes would work better than a car in this kind of weather.
Yes.
Is there going in the direction we're going? Is there a cabin or any place we can at least shelter? Maybe
between here and Hudson and the lodge? No. For some reason, Sutton he bought all the land near, around the lodge. That there's this is the closest place. You'll get from here to Hudson, and then there's a few shops in Hudson, and then he's a little bit further on.
Can we borrow a phone?
You can use the phone in the station. That's fine. Though I don't know how well good the reception will be. Weather.
Just thinking we might want to call back to the office, Neville, and give Anthony a heads up, or at least call the messaging service so they can jot down a note for him when he gets in the office in the morning.
I think we should call the President of the United States and tell him to wipe Maine off the planet, especially Bangor, Maine. They don't seem to understand how to treat guests in their town. If that little girl is hurt because you people throw us out into the snow, I'm coming back here and I'm personally putting a bullet in your head. You understand?
You have the Wendigo after you. You will not be coming back here.
You're a bunch of superstitious...
I think we should get out of here. Neville, I mean, something bizarre is out there. They're not...
Something bizarre is right here. All right. Well, fuck this town.
I've got an idea, Neville. Here, why don't we start to head back to the others?
Yeah. So as you guys are starting to walk back, you see a very big guy emerging from the snow, and the man that had been following you sort of says, "Joe, no," and he comes forward and he says, "You need ride."
Yeah, we need a ride.
You need ride to Hudson.
Are you willing to drive us?
I do not fear the Wendigo.
Well, then I look over at the other guy and I go.
And the guy sort of says, "Joe, it's not safe. Think of the people of the town." And he looks back at them and he says, "I said I do not fear the Wendigo. I will take you to Hudson."
All right, thank you. At least somebody has sense here.
Well, we're at the train station. If you could pull your car over there, we'll load up. It's 5 of us. 4 of us. 5 of us. Apparently I can't count anymore.
I give one last...
He nods and then walks back off into the snow, and Miles and Neville, you guys walk back to the station to catch back up with Dr. Richard and Jasmine and Aaron, who obviously are kind of getting warm, and they've put on the jackets and things that the men had brought them, and they've got all their maps and bits and pieces, and it looks like the guys are back from loading up the bikes as well. As you guys walked through, you saw the bikes had been laden with a bunch of stuff and refueled and all that sort of stuff.
All right. So we'll take the stuff from the bikes and put it into the car. Jesus Christ.
So as you go in there, you do hear the sound of car. So it's one of those big trucks with like the open back and then like the cab at the front. And the whole thing's covered with like animals' fur and things like that. And on the front of the car, you do see some big antlers. That do look strangely familiar.
That is bizarre. So, where do you get those antlers?
And he looks at you and he goes, I told you, do not fear the Wendigo. If it bleeds, I can kill it.
I think my granddaughter best ride up in the cab with you. She's perilously close to frostbite.
I think there's enough room for the both of you too, because you're the, no offense, Doc, but you're kind of a little frail. You need to be in the warmth of the cab.
Aaron, Neville, and I, we can go in the back.
Yeah, we'll sit in the back. This trip, I don't think the trip can get any worse than it already is.
Aaron, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Do you guys load up all the stuff from the bikes?
Yeah.
On into the back with you guys in the back of the truck. And there's a few men who are kind of, they've helped you load the car up and things, but they're watching and stuff, and there's some worried looks on their faces, and a lot of them are looking out into the snow and things like that. I'm
going to look at each and every one of them and convert their faces to my memory. I'll be back.
And Joe starts the car, and you guys sort of drive off town. And as you're driving through town, a few people have come out of the stores and the shops to come and watch you guys driving up the thing. And he's making decent, in the snow. It's not easy and things. And you guys are leaving Bangor, and it's just then, over the wind, you hear a howl and screams.
Oh, well.
Grandfather, you hear that?
So is it coming in front from in front of us, or is it coming from behind us?
It's coming from the village.
Oh, good. So I might not have to come back.
Unless that village is not what it seems. I don't know what the heck to believe right now.
Look, we're out in the woods. There's animals living out there.
Look. If you're worried that those villagers are like the Wendigo, they would have invited us in for more than coffee and gear. They would have had us stay for dinner.
Yeah. Well, but
hey, pass some of that medicinal. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
So Joe is in obviously the driver's seat with Jasmine and Dr. Richard, and he sort of, when he hears it, he looks across at both of you and he goes, "My people were right to be scared. You did lead the Wendigo to my people."
We didn't lead anybody.
We didn't know. We didn't know that.
This is in the cab. He's talking to.
Well, I didn't know what they are, or why they're after us.
Like, we had 3 already dead, so I don't know where these other ones came from.
Joe looks at Jasmine and he goes, "If you want to know more of the Wendigo, ask your granddaughter. I can tell she knows the legends."
Yes. I know plenty. Well, I know they devour, well, just mainly from what I know from the tribes, particularly the Scott. That certain tribe actually has a lot more ties to that culture and that particular entity.
So are you trying to tell me that these are a real thing?
Well, I always thought they were a myth, but
He's out in the woods.
The grandfather, I studied this in school, and I always thought it was a myth. I never really thought I'd ever really see one.
But I still don't understand why they're after us. What have we done to them?
I don't know.
We're just on a train.
they killed everyone on that train except for us. I don't know if they're searching for somebody or they're trying to kill someone or particular, but they were particularly after our group for sure.
Maybe they were the ones that the Wendigo were after, and that's why they didn't get us. I don't know. I think this is crazy. This whole thing. We've landed. We've come to the land of the loonies. Thank God I live in a city.
How long do you reckon it's going to take us to get to Hudson?
It's 30 miles. What are we doing? 30 miles an hour?
Like, I wonder how far away those howls are coming from. That has me a little concerned. Those were the same howls before they attacked last time. They banged on the train, and then they gave chase on the motorcycles. You're not remembering much of this, are you, Neville?
I remember us on the motorcycles. I remember a wolf or something coming into the main part of the train, but I bumped my head. I remember that hurt.
Question for the keeper. From my time in the trenches of World War I, dealing with people that had concussions and temporary memory loss, would I be at all familiar with trying to get someone to snap out of it and to try to recall a little bit better?
Possibly, but they would kind of all entail, I guess. I mean, you're not like a trained psychiatrist or anything like that, so you wouldn't be able to do what Dr. Harrod did. Probably, but him re-seeing the Wendigo would probably do it.
I couldn't try oh no. Psychology and psychoanalysis. Oh, okay. If I could make my 1% psychoanalysis roll.
I mean, you can try, but yeah, it's probably not likely.
I would turn over to Joe and ask him, what's he know about like this certain Wendigo, or does he know anything like particularly like, like if they chase after one person, will they chase the whole group just to get to him, or is it?
If they've been told to hunt you, they will follow you and hunt anyone who is in their way to get to you.
Well, I don't know who would send some creatures after us. I mean, we have no ties to like what they want. I don't believe.
And he looks at you and your grandfather there, and he looks kind of through the back at the three men in the back and goes, "You mean to tell me you are just on holiday in Blizzard?"
Well, we're actually trying to find my aunt. She's gone missing, and we have reasons to believe that. We go and tell him, like, I kind of give him an idea where we're going and what we're doing. And as far as I know is that, like, we know that my aunt is, like, probably further in Maine at that hunting lodge that we're going to.
It's my daughter we're looking for. Would you, if you had a daughter missing, would you go out in a blizzard for her?
I've had daughters.
And as well as that, I don't think I haven't visited my aunt in like a while, and we just came to town. I mean, the only person probably had more, like, probably seen her was probably Aaron, the one in the back. He's the only one who probably had time to see her as of late than me and my grandfather have, or even the two detectives in the back there.
Investigating murder. Sounds like you have plenty of people that might not want you to get to Maine.
How would someone go about sending a thing like that after you? I mean, you can hardly go and hire them, can you?
Someone who knows the old ways. Someone knows the ways to control the Wendigo. The children of the gods.
Well, this is all too confusing. I wish I'd stayed in California.
So you guys have been driving now for a little while, and eventually you guys arrive in a smaller kind of town, and the weather has kind of eased off. It's not a blizzard anymore. It's still cold, but it's not as bad. And you pull in. This is a very small little kind of town, and it says Hudson as you kind of enter, Joe pulls the truck up next to the a general store, and steps out, and he walks to the back and helps the guys step down and things, and helps everyone kind of get off, and then he looks at you all and says, "Be very careful. Trust no one outside of your group. Don't give away your true meaning of being here."
Oh, like we just did?
Yes.
Thank you for that. Sorry, guys. Jasmine kind of looks to the down, like, sad.
And you guys, I'm assuming, as you kind of getting your stuff off, Joe takes kind of gestures for you to step aside, Neville.
Joe?
Yeah. And he kind of quietly says to you as the others are unloading everything, he goes, "The Sutton man, he'll be waiting for you."
You know this man?
I've seen it.
Look, I'm grateful to you for bringing us up here. Have you been to the lodge before?
Not to the lodge, but I've been in this area.
Well, he's one of the reasons why we're coming up here.
He takes his glove off and puts his thumb on your forehead, and it's like and you see the Wendigo, you see everything, it's all coming vividly clear, it all just rushes through and into your head and things, and there's now no doubt in your mind of what you saw and what happened. You'll need a clear mind for what comes next, Mr. Gray.
I need to do a sanity roll.
Yeah.
I oddly passed my sanity roll, did I? No, I didn't pass my sanity roll. I missed it by 2.
Just take 1.
I think my concussion's coming back.
And he goes,
Are you saying that I basically got my memory back when he did that?
yeah. And there's now no doubt in your mind of what you saw and things like, yeah.
I cannot understand what it is that just happened, but I thank you.
Listen to me, Mr. Cray. Do not show your hand to Sutton. If he feels threatened or spooked, it will not end well for you and your group. Play your cards close to your chest.
Okay, thanks.
And he hands you a wrapped up something. It's like a thing of cloth.
Yeah.
And he hands it to you and goes, "When the time is right, use this." And then he gets into his cab and he just waves goodbye to all the rest of you, and he drives off.
I look over at Archer. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? This is like the craziest batshit place I've ever been in my whole life.
Neville,
Fella.
He gave me something. I think it's mittens, but I'm not sure. He says, "We shall know when to use it when we need to use it.
Well, what is it, Neville?
I don't know. Let's see. Is it like all tied up?
Yeah, it's like it's all tied up and wrapped up in cloth. You can feel it's solid though. It's like it's hard.
Like some sort of Indian spirit bag?
No, it's bigger than that. Like it's something wrapped in cloth.
Well, it's freezing cold out here. We'll look at it later.
Yeah, let's get.
Now we got another big problem. How the hell do we get here from here to the hunting lodge? Let's go.
And as you say that, there's a man kind of steps to the front of the general store and he's, "Hi there, folks. How you doing?"
Doing okay. If we can come inside and get.
Of course. Come on through. Come on, make yourself I'll make you a nice cup of coffee.
Thank you.
Very
Love
nice.
me some coffee.
And he kind of dresses you all in, and it's the general store. There's like a bunch of stuff.
I will give both Miles and Jasmine a look that basically says, "Keep your mouth shut about Wendigos and all that other shit. Keep your mouth shut."
And yeah, when you guys enter, like it's nice and warm in here. There's a fire going. It looks really, nice, and you can see like the general store kind of doubles as the post office as well. There's like a thing set up behind the counter where.
Yes, didn't and I look over at Archie. Didn't they say that Sutton gets his mail and phone calls here? Because there's not one up at the lodge.
Yeah, I think this is the place. What's the address here?
And the man says, "Oh, yeah, this is the Hudson General Store."
Oh, yeah, this is it.
Are you by chance Mr. Hudson?
Oh, no. Hudson's the man who discovered the town hundreds of years ago. My name is Mr. Flickett.
Mr. Flickett, thank you. Mr. Flickett, we are heading up towards the Winter Haven Lodge.
Oh, yeah, Stuart Sutton's place, yeah.
We were told that Mr. Sutton occasionally comes down here to pick up his mail, and...
Oh, yeah, he does, yeah.
When was the last time he was here? We were hoping to maybe meet him.
Oh, of course, yeah. Stuart, lovely man. He said, he came up here just the other day. A guy picked up his stuff. There's nothing from him now, but yeah.
Let's see. And when he came up here last, did he by chance have a young woman with him?
No.
Sister-in-law.
Oh, no, I haven't seen his. I've met. What was her name? Marilyn. Yeah,
that's correct.
Yeah, she last time I saw her was when she came up here with her husband, but that was last year. That was months ago.
She came up here with her husband.
Yes, yeah. Her and what's his name? Joseph.
Joseph, yes. Joseph.
Yeah. They came up here months ago. Last year. Yeah.
Really? Would you say in the last winter, last spring?
Yeah,
summer?
probably around last winter.
I see. Well,
lovely couple.
Do you happen to know if there's anybody in town who can give us a ride up to the lodge? Is it possible to get a ride up to the lodge?
Well, Jim, he owns the taxi. He might be able to tell you that the roads are not amazingly safe. But what I can do is I'll see if Jim can maybe drive you as close as he can, and then I can sell you some of these. And he brings out some, those kind of like tennis racket snowshoes. Yeah, and he goes, "I could sell you some of the best on the line here, snowshoes, and you could walk the rest of the way."
Snowshoes. That's next. And that's the snowshoes. All right. That's very kind of you. Thank you.
Oh, happy to help. That's what I do here at the store. Help people.
Well, you're far better than the people of Bangor, Maine, who seem to be a bunch of superstitious nitwits.
Ixnay on the.
Oh
no.
What does Ixnay mean?
I give him a look, like really.
He's speaking Latin.
I just told these other two. Jeez.
I kind of give Neville a little kick on the side of his leg.
Don't do that.
Like a little shake of the head. No, just once.
Anyway, whatever. Well, you're Mr. Jim. That would be a fine thing. We'd be glad to pay him compensation for taking us.
Well, you here? Have your coffee. I'll go get Jim, and you just rest easy, okay?
And you are aware that Mr. Sutton is up there now?
Oh yeah, he should. He spends most of the time up there. Yeah.
All right.
Unless he's out hunting, it'll be fine.
Good. All right. Thank you very much.
No problem. And he kind of goes out of the store to.
And I just sort of start looking around at the stuff in the store.
Yeah, and I mean it's all pretty standard. There's like, there's food on the shelves. There's kind of all the general needs of the town.
Oh look, they have pemmican. Lovely.
Yeah. Aaron, did you see the private message?
Not yet. Oh, really? Okay.
Oof.
So, is there a moment where Neville's kind of like off to one side in the store?
Yeah, everyone's just like looking through all the stuff and
Okay.
things.
Well, I kind of find Neville and just pull him aside.
Mm-hmm.
Just hey Neville.
Of course. What's up, Archer?
Do you remember? It seems like you might be. Do you remember a little bit more of what happened on the train at all?
Yeah, that was the strangest thing. You know that Joe fella? He touched my forehead, and it was like snap. I could remember everything.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why you just want to put it out of your mind. Maybe not even like a decision to put it out, but do you at all recall those red flashes we saw in the woods before those creatures came at us?
Yeah, but I don't think that I could clearly describe them. Were they like lightning or?
There were little flashes in the woods at ground level.
Neville, give me a power check.
A power check. Yes, pass.
Pretty much as Miles says that, you kind of again, and your mind goes back, and you remember driving along, and Aaron was in front of you, and you remember the red, but it wasn't a flash. It was like a piece of fabric, but it looked like a flash in the wind and in the snow and everything. You saw like a red kind of. It almost looked like a piece of fabric or cloth or something, and then it was gone.
A piece of
and
fabric.
then you come back through.
And was it like flying past us?
No, it was like it looked like it was looked like it was on Aaron.
Like a piece of red fabric.
Mm.
So did we see these red flashes always around Aaron?
So you saw the one, the first one when you guys were escaping the Wendigo, but Miles is the only one who saw it as you guys were entering Bangor.
Okay. I do seem to recall, but is it perhaps that Aaron just has something on that's red?
Well, that could
flashing in the...
It could be. I was just really concerned when I saw that it looked identical to what we saw chasing us earlier. I'm probably just seeing things. Maybe this shouldn't be anything worthy of note, but I just want to...
Miles and Neville, give me spot hiddens.
07.
I got a 56 out of 60. It's just
okay, so you both look across to Aaron, and he's not wearing any red. He's got like a brown suit underneath the kind of the big jackets that they were given in Bangor and things, but nothing on him is red. But Miles, there's something you can't quite place it. There's something about Aaron's eyes that just seem oddly familiar.
Like familiar, like recent familiar, or like long ago familiar?
They just look familiar. now that you're actually kind of you're both studying him, there's something you can't quite place it, but you're just like, huh.
Yeah, something's not adding up here, Nev.
Look, we've seen some very, very strange things. And quite honestly, until Joe touched my forehead, I wouldn't have believed any of this nonsense. But I think that my mind is clear, and I think that I saw what I think that I saw. It was strange creatures with antlers on their heads and monstrous looking things that moved fast. And the Indians believe in them, and they said that there were people that went out into the woods and became cannibals. And I would say keep your eyes open.
Yeah, I agree. At this point, we can't jump to conclusions.
And then, as you guys say that, Mr. Flickett comes back in, and he's got another man with him, and he kind of takes his hat off and he goes, "Hi, folks, you looking for a ride?"
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been a while since we had dinner. Can we at least sit down to a meal before we go? I mean, we're warming up.
Oh, and then Miss Flick goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have offered that when you came in. My pleasure. I'll cook you up something."
Do you have any like red meat, like venison, or I can go for a nice steak, medium to medium rare.
I'm sure we have something we can do.
Okay, I assume it's early. It's still in the morning.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so it's not really dinner. It's
Well, throw
breakfast.
some eggs. Yeah, throw some eggs in there. You got steak and eggs.
And there's like a little place where you guys can kind of sit down and
have some coffee and shit.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
stuff. And
before we go, and I mean, as we're sitting down, before we go, let's discuss what's going to happen when we get to the cabin.
Well, let's okay. So
like, how do you want to proceed? Like,
we're kind of in a private spot, so that we're not really overheard.
Yeah,
I'd say there's two problems that we got. One is we want to secure Mrs. Sutton's safety. Now, for all we know, and I strongly suspect, I'm sorry, Doctor and Miss, but I strongly suspect that
Marilyn
may have been having an affair with Stewart. And my guess is that the baby might not have in fact been Joseph's.
For goodness sake, man.
I'm just saying that this...
You're overstepping your bounds.
It's my job.
Yeah, I don't believe my aunt can... I don't believe my aunt would have done that. We
have to explore these things because it's possible. In any case, it may be the thing that led to Stewart finally taking action and possibly murdering Joseph.
Well, the one of the things we probably should have done while we were in town, but we didn't have enough time, maybe look to see if there was like some sort of insurance policy. I mean,
well,
that's what people tend to do.
I'm sure with him working at the bank, there would have been some sort of an insurance policy that would have taken care of Marilyn. Maybe. Now, did not the doctor tell us that? No, I'm sorry. I'm getting something confused. So our first, to answer your question, the first thing that we need to do is find out if Marilyn is all right. If she's up here by her own will, then we don't really have anything we can do about it.
But what if? Okay.
If Stewart is in fact the murderer of Mr. Sutton, there's the possibility, God forbid, that Marilyn is in league with him. And I know it's a horrible thing to say, but why would she come up here with him so easily after the funeral?
Without notifying any family members.
Without notifying any family members.
And again, we're not accusing her or anyone. It's just what Neville and I do. We need to be open to all possibilities and investigate. That's simply what we're doing.
And
It could
why
have been
was there,
forced up here.
and why was there a large bag of money in the house as well?
So it's
Well,
at this point that Mr. Flickett brings you guys some food over, some bacon and eggs and some steak and some beans and stuff like that. And
So you asked how we're going to handle it. I think the obvious thing is we have Jasmine and we have Dr. Sinclair here, who are obviously concerned for Marilyn, who's pregnant with a child, and they're looking for her. That's why we're here.
You seem to very much be set upon the idea that Stuart is involved in the murdering side of things.
I am not set on anything, except that the suicide note did seem to be in the handwriting of Mr. Stewart, not Mr. Joseph.
Aye, that's fair enough.
Not proof, but a definite lead worthy of an investigation.
And the fact that he couldn't have shot himself in the temple since he didn't actually have a hand on that side.
Aye, well, if you'll excuse me though, I'll put my faith in facts rather than conjecture. But we certainly do need to. We need to find them first.
Also need not just to make sure Marilyn is there of her own accord, but also that she is healthy. She is pregnant, and Jasmine, you discovered in her bedroom some very off-smelling
Vomit.
stains all over the place around the bed. So that would indicate that she might be unwell, and there are no major hospitals up here. So
we also have a new revelation, and that is that they came up here last year.
Aye.
So someone could possibly have seen her in town if she would have, wandered around. But
Well,
I don't believe
question-
she's probably. But I don't believe she's probably brought up to her own free will.
or
No.
maybe she was. Maybe, I mean, there could be a simple explanation. I mean, if she's up here, her husband, his brother had just passed, and she's, up here to have somebody, close to her that's family, and she's looking for comfort from him, and maybe he's
It may
offering
be.
comfort.
So what I think is that when we go up there, the pretext is going to be to see if Madeline is okay. You are members of her family, and we are investigators because she was missing.
All right, now what happens if he turns us away from the house? I mean,
Well, we'll have to deal with that, but it's a hunting lodge. It should be open, but otherwise, we're not going to mention anything about the possible murder.
okay.
Unless
Do you want some of us? Do you want us all to come up at the same time, or do you want me to look around for possible weapons and things like that while you guys do your conversation?
well, we're going to be staying at the lodge, so let's go up there together. Let's
Okay.
make it seem just like that we're coming up there to find Marilyn.
Okay.
And then we'll move from there, because obviously we're not going to come back here immediately. We're going to have
Right.
to go there.
I was just wondering if you wanted us to all appear, or do you want a bit of an element of surprise just in case something?
Miles, can you
Yes.
give me a spot hidden?
certainly.
There wouldn't be any
Ooh.
way
Wow.
I could see that we could orchestrate that.
09. Wow.
So as all this kind of conversation's going on, you've noticed that Aaron has devoured his rare steak.
Rare. Yeah, I definitely noticed rare.
He's sopped up the bloody gravy with his biscuits and everything, and he's doing all this while, talking and looking at everyone at the table.
Really
Wow, this-
hungry there, Aaron.
When was the last time we've eaten?
Well, yesterday on the train.
Yeah.
Which was just, I guess about, 4 hours, 5, maybe 6 hours ago.
No, it was like yesterday. He said yesterday on a train.
Yeah, but
Yesterday.
we ate before we went to bed, and then we went to bed, crashed, drove to,
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
arrived in the morning. It's not like
I
we were
mean,
starving or anything.
Well, maybe not.
But okay,
yet.
some people are have a higher metabolism than others.
Jim comes in at this point and goes, "Hey, I don't want to rush you guys, but you
Oh,
ready
we're
to go?"
just
We're ready.
Oh, this is delicious, by the way. Tasty.
Oh yeah, no, Mr. Flickett makes the best steak in town. Yeah.
I'll put the money on the table, leave him a tip, say you guys are great. Come back down here and have something for supper.
Oh, sure. So you guys go out, and it's a standard taxi. You'll pile in and things, and
How far is it?
not too far. It's maybe about half an hour. Yeah. So he's driving along, and he chats with you guys along the way, and asks how you going and things like that. And obviously, you guys are keeping it very light and happy, and not kind of as you guys kind of are getting closer, he stops the gun and goes, "Ah, damn. Look, sorry folks, look, there's a tree down." And you guys can see up ahead there's a tree that has covered the entire road.
Is there any way around this?
Really, really big tree.
How far away How far away from the lodge are we?
Oh, not too far. I'd say maybe a 10-15 minute walk from here.
Is there any way around?
Well, and then there's dense trees on either side of you guys.
I'll say this. I mean, you've taken us most of the way. Why don't we reckon we can actually walk the rest of the way? Don't want to get your tires stuck in here and you're stuck out here.
I appreciate that, sir. Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate the help.
I swear to God, when this is all over, I'm going to have lost 50 pounds.
Question for the keeper. Miles looks over at the base of the tree that's fallen.
Yeah.
What does it look like? Does it look like a fresh cut? Does it look natural?
Oh, it looks natural. Like it looks like it's like broken, and it
doesn't look like any mischief has been committed here, but it just
just possibly in the blizzard.
Okay.
Yeah, it's covered in quite a bit of snow as well, so it's possible that it happened in the storm.
All right, fair enough.
So you guys all pile out of the car and grab all your bits and pieces, and you kind of say goodbye to Jim as he turns the car around. And Neville, as you're kind of walking along, you're bringing up the rear. You feel the thing in your hand start to it just ever so slightly. It feels quite warm.
All right. That's strange. Neville, we can tell that tree must have fallen in the last couple of days.
Did you ever look at what that thing is?
I thought we were going to do that, but we forgot about it. We'll look at it when we get up to the lodge, I suppose.
So as you kind of come around, because you got to go around the tree, there's pretty dense snow. Like the snow is coming up over your, it's coming up to about your shin. So you're kind of having to trudge through it all a bit because you didn't buy the snowshoes back at the time.
Oh right, got it.
Did we not? I thought we were being pressured into that.
Yeah. He's a good salesman. He knew, I guess. But yes, you guys are walking along, and eventually you can see the wind has started to pick up a little bit though as you guys are coming along, and it is starting to snow. But you can now see in the distance the building, the lodge has kind of come into view, and it's a pretty sizable building. You can see some lights on and other things, and there's definitely activity going on there.
Are we seeing activity from multiple people, or is it just You see somebody walking inside the.
You can see, you know, as there's lights on, and there seems to be a fair amount of movement and things like in the lodge. It looks like there's people there. Yeah.
Okay.
Before Joe left, did Miles hear what Joe said to Neville? Asking him baggage.
No.
Okay.
No. No, all of that was very much just to Neville, that encounter.
So we continue trudging forward.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys kind of get to the front, and as you kind of come to the front door, the door opens, and a young man, you'd probably say like 19, 20, kind of comes to the door, and he goes, "Oh, we weren't expecting visitors. How can I help?"
Oh, well, we've come to see Mr. Sutton and his sister-in-law.
Well, Mr. Sutton, he's around. I think he's out hunting at the moment. But
well, would you mind if we come inside? It's freezing.
oh, of course. Yeah, here, let me take your bags. And he comes and helps you with some of your stuff and leads you in, and it's quite a nice little kind of setup they've got around here, and seems like a nice area. And yeah, behind the counter you can see a young woman. She'd probably be like 18 or 19 or so. Both of them are very clearly Native American.
Okay.
Well, let's
Would you like to check in?
Sure.
Aye, let's
Suppose
do
we
that.
should.
Might as well.
We've trapped. Excuse me. We've trapped.
Yeah, I'll pat Mr. Cray on the back there. It's very dusty in here. I think you breathed some of it in as you were coming in.
Right. And the boy says something to the girl in a different language, and she smiles and brings up like a check-in book. Can you give me a other language check, Jasmine?
Yes. Which one am I looking for? Am I looking...
The pen bequest?
Okay. 32. Can I use some luck for that?
Yeah,
Let's
sure,
see,
if you'd like to.
Yeah, I'm used to.
Yep, use 2 luck, no problem. So basically you heard him say to her, they want to check in.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't say, these people are bloody idiots, charge them double.
No, he just says like, get the chicken book. We've got new. They want to check in.
Chicken book.
Oh.
Yeah, so they go. You guys go over, and you can see a few names on the check-in thing, and there's a few rooms, and the boy comes over and he says, "Here are the rooms. We've got a few rooms left. They're all upstairs. They've got the living quarters and everything downstairs for everyone to stay, and then upstairs are all the rooms. We've got 2 different types of rooms. We've got the suites, which have got like kind of the larger beds. They kind of range between they're about $4 a night. And then we've got the standard rooms, which people can share, and those are $2 a night. And the whole thing is like the whole thing is built like a hexagon, like the whole building. And so kind of all the living areas are down below, and then above all the rooms, that's kind of the way they're scattered around, is in the big hexagonal the shape.
And is it a wooden building?
Yeah, it's like a log cabin.
Okay.
Is there any unusual ornaments hanging on the wall? Any unusual paintings or statues or anything?
There's like some Native American inspired artwork and things. Obviously, Jasmine, you'd recognize a lot of that stuff more than the rest of you guys. They just look like what a tourist would go, oh, that's, but I mean, there's some like stuffed animal kind of stuff around. It's a hunting lodge that's not unheard of. You guys are just in the entranceway though. You haven't kind of stepped further into where it all is. So do you guys, do you want to put your names down and let me just, so the suites, these two, there's 2 suites available. These are slightly larger and have sitting rooms. They're each furnished with a large bed, 2 nightstands, a small desk, 2 chairs, a wash basin and bowl, dresser table, small sofa, and a double fireplace separating the 2 rooms. The suites are provided with oil lamps, and the sheets are changed every morning, and fresh towels are brought in daily. There's a stack of firewood in each fireplace, and Boy says he will bring new firewood in every day for you. And he'll also bring in, and then he gestures to the girl. He says, my wife, Hurit, will bring fresh water in every day, and she will clean your rooms.
I'm sorry, what was your wife's name again?
Hurit, Hurit.
And what was your name, by the way?
Chuck.
Chuck?
Achak.
Chuck.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Atuk for a minute there. That would have been unlucky, wouldn't it?
Do you have any idea when we might be able to speak with Mr. Sutton?
Stuart, yeah. He normally, like I said, he's out kind of, I think, checking the hunting route at the moment. He won't be too long. He'll be back soon.
All right. And his sister-in-law, is she here?
And he looks at Hurit and sort of shakes it. And he goes, Miss Sutton hasn't been up here for months. Last time she was here with Stuart's brother.
So I keep hearing. Okay.
All right.
And then the Hurit says something to Chuck, and he sort of shrugs and things. Jasmine, did you want to try and understand what they said?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, 28.
She just says, are they asking about Marilyn? And he sort of just shrugs.
Well, let's get settled in.
So would you like the suites, or would you just like the guest room? So the guest rooms, we only have a few left because we do have some other guests.
Well,
I'll take a suite for my granddaughter and I.
The 2 suites, of course.
I could take a guest room.
Okay, so the 2 suites will be this. So there's suite 1 and suite 2 are at kind of I don't know if I could. Yeah, I'm trying to do it.
Does one of them have 2 beds?
So you can see suite 1's here, and suite 2 is there.
Did you say they have 2 bedrooms? The suites.
No. The suites just have 1 bed each. The guest rooms have 2 smaller beds.
Okay. Well, Neville and I mean, Miles and I can share.
Yeah, we can.
A room with 2 beds.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rooms we have available for the guest rooms, we have room 7, room 5, and room 3.
I'll take 7. That's a lucky number.
Okay.
57. I like the numbers.
And you, Aaron, which room did you go? Room 5,
like room 3.
Yeah,
room 3.
Go. No room 4, so we don't have to worry about feng shui problems. Oh, good.
3.
So Chuck, grabs your bags, and he leads you guys up the stairs. And as you kind of guys, you enter into the main hallway, and there's like couches around, and you can see a big cabinet that's full of Native American artifacts, and there's a couple of rifles in there, obviously being a hunting lodge, so not that surprising. There's a few people in the sitting down at the table, and at the couches. There's quite a large man with a big bristling moustache. There's another man with a big beard and glasses who's sipping a tea. And then there's a man in a pinstripe suit and stubble, and he's got a scar here, and he's wearing a big pinstripe suit, and he's kind of sitting next to him is a quite glamorous looking young lady with kind of a cropped haircut and things. Yeah, you
So
guys
there
are
are guests here.
Yeah, as everybody else is going up, I'm going to ask the young lady behind the counter. I know this is a hunting lodge, but yeah, where can I purchase some ammunition and perhaps a rifle or something?
And she sort of looks at you and goes, no English.
While that's going on, I'm gonna go tap Neville and Miles and speak to my grandfather. I think they know something about my aunt. They were asking about Marilyn, and like the woman asked the boy if we were asking about my aunt, and they were speaking about.
Is this while you're walking up the stairs?
Yeah, I kind of like whispered to them on the side, like kind of like.
Is that right?
So you speak their language.
Another language.
Okay, so Chuck hears you whispering, and he sort of he turns at the mention of Marilyn and goes, I'm sorry, but I couldn't help but overhearing. We haven't seen Marilyn for months. Last time she was here was with Mr. Sutton's brother.
And how long ago was that?
Last winter.
All right.
And he shows you two rooms. So the first room they come to as you guys get to the up the stairs. The first room to the left is room 7, which is the room for Neville and Miles. So he opens the door, lets you guys in. There's 2 beds. It's actually quite a nice setup. It's all got like kind of, like a lot of like log, like cabinetry. The bed is made out of logs and all sort of stuff. There's a nice little fireplace, little basin off the side there, and there's a window looking out to the wilderness and things like that. So he kind of puts you in there, gives you guys your keys, and then he walks a little bit further down down the way into suite 1. He opens the door and there's a large bed, so a bit more luxurious setup of everything, and he hands the keys to Dr. Richard.
Thank you very much.
No problem at all, sir. He goes a further bit down to room 3, which is on the other side next to the other set of stairs. He opens it up, same setup as Neville's and Miles. He hands the key to Aaron, and then he takes finally to suite 2. He opens up and it's the same setup as Dr. Richards, and he hands the keys to Jasmine and kind of thanks you for everything, and then kind of makes his way back down the stairs. Now, one thing I've got to send. So you guys can role play. It's fine.
So Neville, now that we're alone,
Yes, Neville.
are we in the right? I'm sorry, Miles. You know, we're together so much, I forget which one of us is which.
We look similar.
Now, either the servants are lying, but they don't come across as liars. We're in the wrong place. Maybe she didn't come up here. Why do we think that she came up here? And if she did come up here, do you think that he could have gotten rid of her simply because she knew that he murdered her husband?
Maybe. That the letter in his hand, it's also the possibility of not so much him murdering Joseph, but covering up for someone who did.
Maybe she murdered him.
Yeah, that was a thought that just crossed my mind. Just because he wrote the letter, it's not proof that he murdered anyone. It's just, it looks like he wrote a letter, which it's very suspicious, but it's clearly not Joseph's handwriting. Marilyn.
It wasn't really an identical match either, was it? It was close.
It's pretty close. We matched the dots of the I's and the crossings of the T's.
Mm-hmm. I think there's more to this mystery than we've figured out so far. But I have a funny feeling. I think that now we're in a place where we're pretty sure that somebody's committed murder. Now we don't know if it's Sutton, or Marilyn, or where she's hiding. Ah, geez, we may have come up here for no reason at all.
I'd like to check out the log, the check-in book, to see if Joseph's name is there, as they're suggesting it was. They said last year in winter.
Yeah, that's also what the guy in the general store said.
So supposedly Joseph killed himself December 20th, which is one day before winter. That's so roughly December. I'm sure someone would refer to sometime in December as winter. So Joseph's name should be in the check-in log in December.
When you guys went up, Chuck did give you kind of the information of when dinner is and when they serve everything like that. And he kind of gave you a little bit of, he said obviously you're more than welcome to go into the pantry and the kitchen at any time. It tells you about the supply room has stuff if you want to go out hunting, and he kind of gives you a quick rundown of how it all works, and if you need anything to let him know, and he explains to you all that his wife doesn't speak English.
Miles, when we go back and speak with I can't think of his name, Chuck, the guy downstairs, we need to find out from him, since the funeral, has Mr. Sutton been in the lodge staying here? Has he snuck out and left? Yeah. Because if he's been here since the funeral, we don't know where Marilyn has gone.
Ethel and Miles, give me a listen check, please.
Oh, 73 out of
53. Nope.
Out of 40. No, missed it by 33.
Okay. No problem. Now, Dr. Richard, you are kind of setting up all your room and things and things like that. Can you give me a listen check?
I'm sorry?
All right. Aaron, you are, opening up all your bag and readjusting all your bits and pieces and things like that. Can you please give me a listen check?
Let's see. That is a 34 out of 60. So not quite a hard, but close.
Very faintly, off in the distance, you hear.
I hear howling.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I hear howling, but I'm gonna continue to unpack, and I feel like in a hunting lodge where there's plenty of ammunition and we've got a defensible position, anything that comes through that door, I think we should all be able to handle it.
Jasmine, could you please give me a listen roll?
35 out of 50.
Cool. So yeah, you also hear the howls off in the distance. Probably affects you. You probably feel a bit more uncomfortable than Aaron. But yeah, you can. So it must be because you guys are on one side of the building. So it's obviously it's coming from further back from where you are, as opposed to on the other side where the other guys are. But yeah.
I also didn't count on there being other people here.
Oh, Neb, they mentioned that we could go hunting, and they do have hunting supplies. I'm going to go run downstairs and see if I can replenish some of my shotgun rounds.
Huh.
How many out of the box of 20? How many do I have? Like half a dozen left, maybe?
Yeah, probably something about that because you didn't use heaps when you were on your way.
Yeah.
I am not a very good shot with a shotgun or a rifle.
I go downstairs to try to locate some.
I'm going to look out the window.
Cool. So Aaron, yep, that's fine. You can go down and sort of just mingle and look around. Miles, so what were you doing, Miles?
I'm going downstairs to the hunting area to
yeah, sure. To the main
if I
kind
can
of.
get like another box. I don't want to see greedy or anything, but I'd like at least another box of shells.
Yeah, sure. And then Neville, you're just staying in the room, correct?
Yeah, I'm thinking.
Okay, so I'm just going to do this real quick with Neville, and then I'll follow on with Aaron and Miles. So as Miles goes, Neville, you hear a humming, and you kind of go, what is that? And then you kind of turn around, and you realize it's coming from the package that you've left on your bedside table.
No, it's time to find out what this thing is. I'm going to set it on the table and unwrap it.
Mm-hmm. So you unwrap it, and kind of the cloth comes by, and you reveal a very delicately, beautifully made mask, like a Native American mask. It depicts like an image of a rabbit. It's got big ears and things, and the thing, but it's beautifully made, hand painted, handmade, and everything.
Well, I'm going to pick it up and examine it. Made out of wood?
It's made out of like fabric. You're not sure what quite, but yeah, the base of it is wood. And, yeah, kind of like a paper mache thing, but not, it's better made than that. It's not paper.
Curiouser and curiouser.
And so you kind of bring the back, and there's like a little cord that you can kind of put to strap over the back of the head. And...
I'm going to walk over I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go walk over to the door, and I'm going to crack it open just a little bit and wait for Neville to come up. Wait for Miles to come up the stairs.
Sure. So now I'll jump down to... So Aaron and Miles, you guys almost meet as you kind of at the stairs as you guys are heading down.
Yeah.
And, and you guys kind of walk down, and you both go to the front desk, and there's no one there at the moment, but you just ding the bell. So, yeah. Can you...
I tell Miles, I tried getting ammo and stuff like that from this girl, but apparently she doesn't know how to speak English.
Well, the other guy mentioned that it's down here.
I'm just looking for prices.
Yeah.
Yeah. And while we're talking, I'm just gonna, kind of distractedly flip, look at the ledger and kind of turn it around to see who it's,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be looking through it, and I'm gonna see if maybe we can get lucky to see if he forgot that maybe he wrote Marilyn's name in there or something like that.
Give me a library use, Aaron.
A library?
Yeah. That's the best I can kind of think on.
All right. No, that is a 42 out of 20. I'm very well.
So yeah, you don't Marilyn's name's not there, but you kind of flick through far enough back, and to, from to last year, and you're kind of looking through it as Chuck comes around and sort of sees you and goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir, but that is not
Oh,
for
sorry.
public use. How can I help you, gentlemen?"
Looking for ammo, and wanted to purchase a shotgun or a rifle or something like that. Do a bit of hunting while we're out here.
Of course. And he leads you over to kind of, there's some rooms off the back. So he kind of leads you through, and there's the supply room, and then there's kind of two rooms off the side. On one of them it says Stuart Sutton, and the other side it says Hoodit and Chuck housekeeping and groundskeeper. And then there's the supply room ahead. And as you're kind of walking past, you hear a voice from behind. Chuck! And he turns around and goes, Mr. Sutton! And you see a gentleman kind of walk up behind you. He's got some kind of animals slung over his arm.
Big game or small game? Well,
yeah, small game. And he's got a rifle with him.
I'll ask. So, what's big game hunting around these parts this time of year?
And he says,
"Are you getting bucks?"
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize we had some new guests. Pleasure to meet you. And he kind of wipes his hand and things, and he shakes both yours, Miles, and Aaron's hand. He goes, "Stuart Sutton. This is my establishment. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. I check out when you get a chance. Can you take care of these?" And Chuck said, "Yeah, of course, sir." And takes. So
is it like rabbit? I was like, "Oh, I can go for some rabbit."
Yeah, and so they're rabbits and things. And he answered the question. He said, "Oh yeah, we got all kinds out there. We got deer, got some stag. They're good hunting for sure."
Yeah. As long as you guys cook it up medium rare, that's all I care about.
Yeah, Hooded is an amazing chef.
And then I'll pointedly look at Miles and smile.
And so Stuart goes into opens the door to his office. Can you guys both give me spot hiddens?
Let's look at this.
Oh,
let the detective do it.
73.
Nope. I got a 48 out of 30.
Yeah, so you guys kind of, Chuck is gesturing you forward into the supply room, so you guys don't get a chance to look in. But you go in, and there's a few guns set up and some ammo, and Chuck says, Mr. Stanton, what exactly would you be interested in?
Yeah, maybe like a rifle, something I can. What would you suggest as far as a good hunting rifle?
And he pulls one off the shelf, and he kind of said, well, this is the best we have to offer. It comes with obviously a scope, Smith & Wesson, one of the top brands.
What's the caliber?
I believe
like a 22, a 22.
Yeah, about a 22. Let's go with that.
Not very powerful. Well, it's good for hunting some buck. Okay. Yeah. How much does this run?
$10 and that comes with 2 packs of ammo.
Oh wow, that's a deal. And how about a shotgun? You guys have a shotgun here?
No, we don't.
Don't do shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Not that season.
No.
Okay.
Do you have handguns for any small game?
Muzzle loaders, or like I said, so like this is dead winter, because I'm thinking shotguns, muzzle loaders, like that sort of thing is for like bird hunting, hunting fowl and stuff like that. And
it's not that
all
season.
The birds went down south for the winter, so okay. Yeah. All right. You guys don't get bear out here, do you?
Very rarely.
All right. I'll take this and with the box of ammo.
Cool, no problem. And he kind of puts that over and packs that all up for you. And he goes, "Would you like to keep this in the cabinet, or would you like to keep it in your room?"
I'll keep it in a room. I want to fawn over my new buy. Just take a better look at it.
And for you, Mr. Archer, what can I get for you?
For your different seasons, when you have shotguns, do you have any leftover ammo for them? Maybe in the storeroom.
Let me check. Give me a luck roll.
Sure. Oh darn. Where's luck? Oh, luck. Oh no, failed by lots.
I'm so sorry. Around that season is very popular here, so yeah, we just.
Do you guys have?
Gets used up.
Do you guys have hunting knives?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah.
And
I'll grab one of those.
Opens up a big kind of cabinet, and there's some beautiful hunting knives. Like some are very ornate and well made. And
yeah.
Things.
I'll get like a nice size like buck knife, and also like a skinning knife. I'm shopping like I'm actually out here to hunt.
Yeah. And Miles, you do realize that like, a lot of the stuff some of the stuff is pretty expensive, and Aaron doesn't seem to be phased at all. He's just pulling the cash out and paying it. It's not a problem.
Must be doing really well in the jazz industry there.
Well, I like I said before, like I told my boss, I have a good relationship with my boss. I told him that I would be out of town for a couple of days. He paid me in advance. Now I'm gonna have to, for the next 2 weeks, I'm gonna have to go without pay. But hey, you only live once, right?
Yeah. So I look around. Are there any decent calibered rifles at all beyond 20?
Yeah. There's a 45.
306, 308.
Yeah, there's one 306.
Okay, I'd be interested in that 306 there. Like to.
Actually, I want to trade up. I want to buy up. I want a 45 instead of a 22. I thought that this is the only thing that he had, like the 22s.
No, that's like the most ornate, like nice made weapon that they've got.
Oh.
But that's why he shot you. But yeah, so he gets one of the 45s, which is a pretty stock standard like one. Gets that for you, and Miles he goes for the 38, and pulls that down, and he said that this is Mr. Sutton's favorite weapon of choice. This is, in fact, very similar to the one that Stuart was holding.
Oh, wonderful! Yeah, I'm a little familiar with the 306. Reminds me of my spring.
I'm gonna get a gun cleaning kit too. I'm gonna clean my weapon.
Sure. Yeah. So I'll leave you guys doing that for a second, and I'll head back up to. Do Jasmine, Dr. Richard, and Neville want to do anything? Because Neville, you've been waiting for a while now at the door for Miles.
All right. I think that I'm going to wander back over to the table, because what I'm thinking is that I'll jump out and scare Miles just for the fun of it. So I'm going to try on the mask just to see how it stays on.
Okay. Cool. Give me a 1d10 for me, please.
0, which is 10.
Cool. So there's a mirror in the room, and you kind of put it on, and you look in the mirror, and then and you pass out. All right. So that's going to be 10 minutes. Neville's knocked out. Okay. Dr. Richard and Jasmine, is there anything else would you guys like to do anything?
I'm going to go talk to my grandfather.
Cool. No problem. So you pretty much you guys are at other ends of the building. So you kind of come out of your room and walk around over and you knock on the door next to Dr. Rich. And he, I'm assuming, opens the door.
Good evening. Morning. Afternoon.
Hey, grandfather. There's something I can't wrap my head around. It seems like I don't know. I don't really believe that they don't know anything about Maryland being here. I really think they might have something they're like trying to keep from us.
I think you might be right, but I also think we need to keep our heads down a little bit.
Yeah,
Because as soon as Stuart sees us, that's the cat out of the bag. And the other three, well, I mean, he may know Mr. Stanton. In fact, I doubt whether he'd even recognize you. It's been a while, but
yeah, I haven't seen him in years.
I was at his wedding. I was at the wedding, and I met Stuart briefly, and I'm concerned that he might recall me. So,
what do you think we should do? You think we should just keep it down low right now?
well, I think we should just stay in our suites until the other three tell us it's okay to go ahead. I mean, if they're planning to do something and to question him, then the last thing they want is me coming down there and blowing the game wide open, as they say in the cheap novels.
All right. Okay.
All right. So Aaron left just before you, Miles, but then you kind of make your way through. Yeah, what would you like to do?
I'd like to make sure I get at least one, if not two, boxes of ammo. The three of us.
Yeah, no, he fully stocked you up and everything, and you would. What's your spending rate, actually, Miles?
30. It is 30.
Which
Credit.
means your cash level. One moment.
Credit is 15.
So it means your spending level is, I believe, $10.
Oh, okay. All right, that must be it.
Spending level $10. So yeah, you can't. Yeah, you don't actually have to buy a gun and 2 boxes of ammo. It's probably like just maybe the gun and 1 box of it, because you didn't get the knife either, did you? You just got the gun and the.
No, I don't need a knife. I have my own knife and a shotgun with just 6 shells left.
Yeah. So yeah, you probably got enough to get the gun and 1 box of ammo.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that. I'll when I see Nev next, we'll see if he can splurge and we can share this.
Cool. So as you're coming through, you get stopped by the girl that was in the lounge. She's very pretty. She goes, "Well, hi there.
Hi there.
Ain't you a strapping man?"
Oh, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Rose Morello.
Rose. Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, Miles.
Miles.
Are you up here for any of the events, or I guess
Oh,
hunting?
Me and Daddy are on a holiday.
Oh, fantastic.
Where are you from, Mr. Miles?
Oh, just not too far away, down around the Arkham area.
Oh, I've been to Arkham.
Yeah.
My daddy had business down in Arkham.
Oh, did he? Oh, what type of business did he have?
Oh, my daddy is he's in business.
Oh, fantastic. Just sort of general importing, exporting, or?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. Fantastic. So you guys up here for long, or?
Oh yeah, no. We'll be here for a while. We love it up here.
Oh, it is nice. It's beautiful. A little cold though. I'll be happy when the storm kind of dies a bit down.
It's nice to have more guests though, and she kind of strokes your chest a little bit.
Well, thank you. Yeah, it's nice to be here too.
Mm.
So I'll. Are you dining here tonight, or?
Oh yeah. The food here, the cook, she's amazing. She makes the nicest food.
Oh, wonderful! I can't wait to see.
You'll sit with me, won't you, Miles?
When I come back down, I need to run upstairs for just a little bit, but It's
Oh, good. Yes, come back and I'll introduce you to my daddy.
Oh, I'd appreciate that, Rose. It's a pleasure meeting you.
And she sort of turns to go, and she sees Aaron as he's kind of walking up the stairs, and she sort of stops and does a double take, and then she's got a very curious look on her face, and then she walks back into the lounge area.
And I see that.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, I'll see you a little bit later, Rose. It is a pleasure meeting you.
You too.
All right.
Okay, so let's do that this way. So yeah, Miles, you head upstairs, and you open the door, and you find Neville lying on the floor, wearing the rabbit mask on his face.
Neville. I run over to him, kneel down by his side. Is he breathing?
Yeah, he's breathing.
Okay. I try to take the mask off, kind of.
Yeah, the mask comes off.
Okay, I set it over to the side and try to... Is there like a little pitcher of water in the room or something?
Yeah, there's like a little basin with some water.
Okay, I pour a nice glass, take a sip, and then throw the rest of it on his face.
Oh, what the?
Okay, Neville. Boom. So, as you put the mask on and you clanked out, you were like, your brain was rushed with visions of Native American people and, like, you know, back in the day, and you saw them doing like ceremonies and their magics and things like that, and you saw them creating this mask and them talking, but somehow the language made sense in your head, and they were talking about how the mask will keep it's a protection mask, and it will keep the dark away, it will keep the Wendigo away, and that this is a special tool to the wearer, and it's a connection piece, and they're talking about it as they're building it, and then it is handed to a young Native American boy, and even though he's very young, you can tell that this boy is Joe. It's young Joe, and he takes the mask, and he puts the mask on, and then everything comes rushing back, and that's when you feel the spray of water hit your face.
What the hey?
Give me a sanity check, please.
13.
So you pass, but yeah, in the dream as well, you saw the Wendigo, you saw the changes of man, like you saw the different, you know, the what it looks like for a man to change from a human to a Wendigo and all that sort of stuff.
Your name is Miles.
Yes, Nev, it's me, Miles. You were laying on the floor with this mask on. You were completely unconscious.
I was gonna try to jump out and scare you. That's what was in the package.
Well, you did scare me, Nev.
Joe's mask. I don't know what happened. I put it on and passed out.
What?
Had the weirdest dreams.
Maybe you just haven't had enough food or drink today.
Oh, please look at me. I could go for a month without food.
Well, how do you feel now? Let me pour you a glass of water.
Lightheaded.
I fill up the glass with more water, and I hand it.
It was like, I was a Native American, and they were making this mask, and I think they gave it to Joe, and Joe is a little kid.
And you remember what they were calling the mask? It was called a Machobo mask.
A Machobo?
Yeah, it's just
like a Machobo mask.
Michabo.
Okay.
Wow, this case is getting weirder and weirder now.
You know, I thought this was going to be weird, but I didn't know it was going to be this weird.
I thought the $10 a day was going to be nice, but somehow I don't think we're going to be collecting from him.
We should write a book of weird stories.
Let's just get through this. So you had some kind of weird dream, or this makes little sense, but so much lately hasn't been making sense.
I don't know, but that mask, that's something else.
It's just then there's a knock on the door.
Got my
Neville
tie
knows.
all wet. Jesus. I gotta take this off.
Sorry, Nev. I was just trying to shoot for your face there. Didn't want to soak you. Anyway.
Jeez.
And the knock comes again.
All right. Who is it?
Chuck, sir.
Oh, hey, just a moment.
Mask under the pillow.
Yeah, all right. It's all straightened up real quick. Go to the door, open it. Hey, Chuck.
Hi. Lunch will be served in a few moments.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
And a lady by the name of Rose is here with her dad visiting.
Yes, sir. Tony and Rose Morello. Yeah.
Oh, Tony and Rose Morello. Oh, thank you so much.
Morello, Italians?
Yes, sir. From New York City.
New York.
Does that name ring a bell at all to us, being we work closely with law enforcement?
That's exactly what makes me suspicious because, you know, I mean, they wouldn't use their real names, would they?
Yeah, probably not.
He's got a scar and a pinstripe suit, and he's Italian, and he comes from New York.
And he's a businessman.
Yeah,
the business. And chances are, he's up here hiding from someone.
This could be.
Cool. So he goes, I'll see you down there, and he kind of heads off and knocks on the door of Jasmine and Dr. Richards. Well, he knocks on Dr. Richards' door, but obviously, Jasmine, you're in there.
Hello.
Hi, sir. Miss. Lunch will be served in just a moment.
Is it that time already?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll be straight down.
Can I get you anything?
No, I'm fine. Jasmine, did you need anything?
Just a glass of water.
No problem.
Thank you.
And he walks into the room and pours a glass out of the thing and hands it to you. And he said, would you like me to start you a fire for tonight, sir?
Oh, yes, please.
I'll do it while you're at lunch.
Oh, Jasmine, I don't know how you can drink that. You know, fish make love in it.
It's, everyone since back in the day has drunk it. It's better than this soda.
And then, he goes on to Aaron and knocks on his door and everything. So yeah, a few moments later, you guys all come down to the dining room, and there's a few people already down there. There's the large gentleman that you saw before with the big moustache, and Stuart is sitting at the table, and he's reading the newspaper, and Hudit is kind of moving around, and she's placing some lovely looking food on the table and things, and you all take your seats.
I'm going to sit with my back to the room.
Okay, no problem.
Trying not to draw any attention to myself.
Tony comes down, and he's got a suit on. Can Neville and Miles give me knowledge roll? Give me an idea roll.
Yeah. Jeez, I have to put all my suit all back on. Pass.
So the name Tony Morello didn't mean anything to you, but now you guys are getting a better look at him with your expertise in, in law and things.
Right.
You guys are pretty sure you know this guy, but his real name is Dominic Strollo, and he's a pretty bad guy in New York. He works for the just a second. He works for the Genovese crime family, and yeah, and so you guys recognize this guy's face. You know who he is. And the girl, and you remember Rose is Dominic's. He has a daughter named Rose Strollo.
Yeah.
Yep. Better watch ourselves.
And just afterwards, Rose comes down. Rose comes down and sits next to her father.
Right.
Stand up. Wait for her to be
Yeah,
seated.
of course.
And then Akchak comes down, and he says to you guys, he says, I'm so sorry, but your friend, Mr. Stanton, he won't be joining us. He's not feeling well.
Oh no.
Oh, is there something wrong with him? Well, I'm a doctor.
I've taken him
Would
up.
you like me to go and check on him for you?
It's fine. My wife has taken him up, and he just asked for some medicine, and he's just going to take it easy. I've started his father.
What kind of medicine did you give?
The medicine of some medicine of our people.
Oh, what kind of thing is that then?
What kind of symptoms is he having?
I believe he said he's having a bit of a sore stomach and things, and yeah.
Oh well, I'll pop up and see him after dinner.
If you wish.
After lunch, rather. It's not dinner time yet, not for hours.
Yeah, so you guys are kind of eating away, and Stuart looks up and he goes, I'm sorry I wasn't here to say hello when my new guests arrive. May I introduce myself? My name is Stuart Sutton. This is my establishment. Thank you so much for joining us. And he notices Dr. Richard just kind of off the side, and he goes, Richard.
Oh,
that you, Richard?
Stuart, is that you? Oh, I had no idea you were here.
Oh, and he gets up and he comes around and takes your hand and takes your hand. It's so good to see you, Richard. It's been so long. How are you?
I'm not too bad. How strange that we should cross paths up here.
Yes, of course. I wish I'd known you were coming. I
was sorry to hear about your brother.
And he sort of becomes very somber and goes, yes, yeah, Joseph's death was hard. It was hard. Yeah.
Can I roll psychology on him while he's talking to my grandfather?
Sure.
Okay.
I think we all should.
I got a 15 out of 40. It's hard.
I missed it by 4.
And darn, missed it by 2.
Okay, so Jasmine, you passed. Everyone else failed.
I got a 39 out of 50, so I've just got a standard pass.
Okay. He seems genuine, but almost too genuine. It almost seems like he's overdoing the performance a little bit, but like not enough to make you go, oh, he's faking it, but like just that kind of little bit like, he's kind of maybe a little too kind of host, like, I don't know, not quite right. It's at this point that Miles and Neville, Dominic has been looking over the table and things, and there seems to be kind of a spark of recognition on his face with the both of you.
I don't know why.
And can you guys give me a listen check?
Ah, darn it. Missed by 11.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so you guys are kind of eating, and Richard and Stuart obviously says, "Oh, this must be Jasmine. It's a pleasure to meet you. Marilyn's talked so much about you."
Hi, have you heard much from Marilyn recently?
Oh, I saw her, a few weeks ago now. I was down in Arkham for a while. She let me stay at the house. I tried to go down after, help her sort things out after Joseph left. And then, but I had to come back up here to,
Well, it's nice
It's
of
not
you
easy
to...
for a woman alone with a baby, is it?
Oh, yes. I have no. I still can't understand what drove Joseph to do such a thing.
Aye.
It was nice of you to, go down and visit with her and talk with her and help her with some things. That's
Of course, she's family, so. It's at that point that one of the the larger gentleman says, "Sorry to interrupt there, Doctor Quentin Wentworth here. Did I overhear your doctor yourself there, sir?"
You talking to me, you English bastard? Sorry, back in character. Aye, that's right. Aye, I'm a doctor of medicine. Are you also medically inclined? Or are you,
yes. I bloody well am. Yes, it's good to meet you, sir. And he puts his hand across the table to shake yours.
Aye, how do you do?
Yeah, very well. I'm up here for the old ticker. You see, and some nice country air up here, nice relaxed away from the city. Yes.
Aye, it's very restful. Aye.
Yes. Lovely.
Have you seen much of the wildlife while you've been up here?
Well, I've gone on a few strolls, yes, but the weather's been quite atrocious, you see. Yes, but I go on the odd walk around. Yes, perhaps you'd like to join me next time the weather eases up there.
Aye, perhaps so. I'm not as able to get around as I once was, but if I'm feeling up to it, I may join you.
No, spiffing, old man, spiffing. Yes. Well, perhaps you can join me for a drink later. We could talk about our times. Yes, brilliant. Sorry to interrupt there. And at this point, you kind of notice there's a bit of a clanging noise, and you look over to Tony, and he's dropped his fork, and he's looking quite like. And then his head hits the table.
Oh,
everything.
I'm gonna go straight over, immediately over.
And Rose is
lift
like
him up into the recovery position and start checking for his pulse.
Rose is screaming and stuff, and she just runs off. So yeah, you're checking. Give me.
I've just switched into doctor mode there.
Yeah, and Dr. Quentin does the same thing. He kind of gets up and he's checking the pulse. The man's dead.
And we have a massive argument about technique while the man dies.
100%. Yeah.
No, do it like that. No, you do it like this.
He's dead. He's definitely dead. Give me a medicine check.
Oh, 16 out of 70. Very nearly a hard, but
when you're checking around.
Oh no, no, hang on. That is a hard, yes.
So when you're checking around and things, you actually find on the back of his neck a small, like pinhole, like a syringe mark. It could be from a blow dart or something. Something has gone in there. Also, obviously, when the clang and everything and him falling, Miles, you happen to sort of look under the table as he went down, and you actually noticed that he dropped a cocked gun, which you obviously realize after he recognized who you and Neville were, he had a weapon sitting on both of you guys under the table.
Excellent. I've always wanted to say this. Right. I'll look around at everyone else in the dining room and say, this man has been murdered.
Murder?
Murder!
I nudge Neville and kind of do a little gesture to underneath the table.
I'll draw the other doctor's attention to the mark on the back of the neck.
Are you certain this is murder?
Good. I say. Well, good spotting there, old chap. Good spotting. And it's at this point you guys notice that the other man at the table, this is the man with the beard and the glasses, is sort of, no, it's them. The voice. No, they're coming. And no. And he kind of gets up and he kind of scamps. So sorry. You must excuse me. I must. There are things that I must. Yes. No. It has to be done. And he kind of scampers off as well. And Stuart is Chuck, get on the phone and call the general store. Tell them we need assistance. Yeah.
The problem is that there's a tree that's fallen on the path leading up here, so we're gonna have trouble getting in and out. Anybody?
Nobody touched the body. Doctors. What should we do?
Do you have a cold storage for your meat?
Yes, of course.
It might be a good idea to move the body in there.
Of course, yes.
Preserved, ready for the autopsy.
Yes, Chuck, and he gets Chuck to come and help him move the body to the other storeroom.
Yes,
and as they're doing that, you guys hear a big.
I want to carry out an examination of the body while it's still fresh.
As they're doing that, you guys hear a loud thudding noise, and you all turn to see Rose splayed out on the floor in the middle of the entrance hall, and almost as if she's jumped off the balcony, and she's as she's hit the thing, there's blood everywhere and things.
Right.
Jasmine, well, pretty much everyone, give me sanity checks.
Yeah. Rush over to her immediately.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Failed.
Pass.
Yeah, I failed too.
Failed by 21 points.
30 for me.
Okay, so if you failed, 1d4. If you pass, just take 1.
2.
1.
3.
All right. So for the last, who rushed to the body?
That was me, if I can, from failing.
Okay. Give me spot hiddens to all the people that rushed to the body.
Jasmine, I need it.
18.
Failed by 17.
Got 18.
18, and you failed, Miles.
Yeah.
Okay. Doctor, you went off with Dominic's body.
I am away with the body.
Right. Jasmine, what did you want to do?
I'm just gonna casually just look and just.
So Neville, you see, you kind of almost instantly go to check, and you can also see, it almost looks like a blow dart or something, like a pinprick in the back of the neck of Rose, and things. Jasmine, as you're looking around and things, you look up to the balcony and you see Rose standing on the balcony. That's just Jasmine. Jasmine sees Rose standing in front of her, and then she enters one of the rooms and goes. And that is where we're going to leave it tonight, guys.
I want out of this carnival. I want to go back home to Arkham and say hi to Arnold or whatever his name really was, because I forget, because this is crazy. Oh. Our players included Stuart Lively, Mick Swan, Wayne Worthy, Dakota Davis, and myself, with Zane Fleming as the keeper of the secrets. And everything just jumped. We're currently producing up to 5 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. If you'd like to support our show, please visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.